Javier Assad, again, fantastic in the start. We're going to get into why he is succeeding in a world of analytics when he's not out there spinning the ball or throwing it past everyone, but still able to have success and why that matters. Cade Horton, Cubs top pitching prospect. Telling you, one of the best pitching prospects the Cubs have had since the days of Pryor and Wood. He was promoted to Iowa, so now he's one step away from the major leagues. And Dansby Swanson with an error in the game, but I don't think it's totally on him. We're going to talk about the bad defense that led to the Cubs' loss last night to the Mets and more. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. That's a way of saying go Cubs, and let's get this party started. But it's everybody. It's Mick Gillispie. Welcome to the Cubs Baseball channel at Broadcaster Mick. And let's talk about the Cubs. That short stay in first place, but they're going to be back there, no doubt about it. And one of the reasons why is the starting pitching. Javier Assad, another solid start for the Cubs, and he's doing it with pitch to contact outs, changing speeds, throwing strikes, getting soft contact. He didn't throw, 78 pitches. He didn't throw 80 pitches, but he did have a blister, and that may have contributed or something with his fingernail that for them taking him out a little bit earlier than I probably would have. When a guy like him's changing speeds and getting outs, it's not like a guy that's out there throwing 100 miles an hour and getting outs. It's less effort. He's not a max effort guy, so he can pitch longer. That's how baseball used to be played. And I think eventually it's going to be played like that again. But he's proving that you can do it without having spin rate and shape and velo. You can go out there and basically set batters up, get them out. It seems like the toughest inning for him is always the first inning. And then we saw a little bit, over the course of the start of the season where maybe he, got a little bit tired and left pitches out over the plate, in his sixth inning, something like that. But he's starting to get the hang of things as far as, maybe not the hang of things, but he's starting to get his legs under him. He's been so solid for the Cubs. He continues to be a pitcher that they can rely on. And I still think that he belongs in the starting rotation, not back to the bullpen. I hope they leave him in the starting rotation. At some point, he's got to have earned it. And every week I say this after he pitches, he belongs in the starting rotation. He's not a depth piece. He is a starter. He's one of your best five pitchers. And he may be right now, honestly, one of the most reliable pitchers in Major League Baseball. So that's the good news. We're going to talk about some of the things that happened in the game. But another piece of news that I wanted to get into was Cade Horton being promoted from Double-A Tennessee to the Iowa Cubs. Now, this is a pitcher who is going to be a starter and potentially got to stay healthy, but he's potentially an ace of a staff. He's a front end starter. He is a sports car of starters. I was sitting over here going, Ferrari, Corvette, Lamborghini. I mean, he's a really good starting pitcher. Prospect wise, he's got a fastball that he can command. He's got the best slider that I think is in the Cubs organization. He's got a curveball that's pretty good. He's been working on a changeup. Make sure that you check out the video that we did with him not even 2 weeks ago, like 9 days ago, and you'll get an idea of what's coming. But the fact that they're moving him now tells me that they're getting him ready for an opportunity in the major leagues. I don't think you'd put him in the bullpen. If it was me, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't want to get this guy out of his routine. I think he's an every 5-day guy, and we're lucky. Justin Steele pitches in a doubleheader today for the Iowa Cubs. Hey, same team, right? Things go well for him, he'll be back in the rotation next week. So that's a game that we're going to pay close attention to here on the channel and kind of report on that and talk about it, tell you guys what we think. But Cade Horton's on the way too. And with all of these injuries and a depth issue, sometimes when you lose so many different starters, he provides all of that. Hard thrower, but it doesn't look like he's out there giving max effort. Same thing. He can do it with basically just doing what he does, and that's throw the slider, throw the fastball, kind of work the inside of the plate. And I'm expecting him to sail through Iowa. I think there's going to be a learning curve. We've seen it with everyone. With the Cubs in the major leagues. But that's exciting news, and that also sets him up to be available by maybe June if the Cubs need him. Maybe June, maybe July. Now, I wasn't really sure what the game plan was for Cade Horton because I've heard people say, hey, in the organization that we're going to take it real slow with him. He's as good as, half of the staff right now. And at some point it should matter whether you're good enough to help the big league team win or not. Being in the minor leagues and wasting all of your innings isn't helping the major league team win. And there's a lot of jobs on the line when you're talking about a team trying to win and trying to get to the playoffs and trying to win a championship. And he's a guy that can certainly help you get there. So we'll keep an eye on that, but congratulations to him as he moves one step closer. All right, let's get back to the game last night because I've got some thoughts on this. And some of you guys might disagree with me, right? 4-2 errors obviously cost the Cubs, okay? Dansby Swanson committed his 4th error of the season. I saw this on Bleacher Nation. Love reading Bleacher Nation. Anything that they tweet, I'm looking at. And it said he's on pace to make 21 or 22 errors. They had put in there that he made less than 10 errors in an entire season with the Braves. He's won back-to-back Gold Gloves. Here's the truth. Okay. The truth is the Cubs had Patrick Wisdom playing first base, and he's not good. And I've talked about this before. He is just not a good defender. Every time he touches the ball, you better worry because you don't know what's going to happen. He's either not going to catch it or he's going to throw it away. The throw that Dansby made is an error on him. Having played baseball a long time before I broadcasted baseball and covering baseball, I've played third before a lot in my life. And I can tell you this, when you got an Anthony Rizzo at first base, they make every play and you look like you're amazing. Hey, even a bad throw the first baseman's making. Michael Busch is transitioning into that spot. That ball that got by Wisdom is a ball that you would see a great first baseman get, whether he had his foot on the bag or not. I mean, who knows, right? But think about how many times you saw Rizzo go down the line, scoop it up, know that the way that his ball moves kind of cuts. He's going to have to be over there and then maybe step on the bag before the defender gets the runner gets there. People think that first base is a throwaway position, and I'm here to tell you that it's not. First base is a very important position defensively because every throw goes over there that's hit on the ground. So, are there balls that have been dropped? Yeah. But every time that Patrick Wisdom plays in the field, this is the kind of shit that you see. I'm sorry. I know you can get in the comment section. Yeah, I said it. It's what you see. Whether it's we got a guy to run down and he throws it away, or you skip a ball over there, and if it's even a medium tough play to make, he's not going to make it. And so that's kind of how I felt on that. And you look back at guys that win Gold Gloves last year. Look, Cody Bellinger played first base and was way better than Patrick Wisdom. He's better than Michael Busch, but I feel like Michael Busch is improving and taking a step every time out there. But the drop off when you put Wisdom in the field, you better hope it's a shootout, because this is what to expect. And if he doesn't hit home runs and doubles, then he's a waste of a position out on the field. Just my opinion. And I get it. He guy's got a lot of power. He's going to do some good stuff, but when he's in the field, it's frustrating. And that's the truth. I wouldn't want to be on the infield having to throw to him, because if you don't make a perfect throw, he might not catch it. And if the ball's hit to him and it's not hit right to him, he might miss that too. It's just like I've said it before. It's like he plays the field with boxing gloves. Okay? That's the truth. You guys tell me what you think in the comment section, but it's frustrating. Don't tell me like we're piling in on Dansby about how many errors he's going to make. There's an assist on making errors at first base when Wisdom's in there and as Bush, progresses in that spot. And I know he's got other errors and stuff, but I'm just telling you, there's a part of that. Now, is it Patrick Wisdom's fault that the Cubs lost? No, it's that right now Adbert Alzolay lays him out over the plate and they're killing him. And that's why he's not the closer right now. He just isn't the same pitcher after the injury last year. And that's, maybe they overused him last year down the stretch. I don't know, but it just isn't the same thing going on right now for him. And I hope that he figures it out, gets healthy, or, finds that whatever is missing, because it's tough to watch. But then again, when you're pitching and the guys behind you don't make plays, that's also what can potentially happen, right? One guy I want to highlight, and you guys in the comment section have done this as well, and you're right, is Mike Tauchman. Mike Tauchman has elevated his game since Cody Bellinger and Seiya Suzuki went out. He has really proven his worth. And quite frankly, he's one of the reasons that the Cubs are having success. Seems like he's always doing something. He can play the different spots in the outfield. He's a good defender. He's a good hitter, but his game has gotten a lot better. This is an opportunity for him to showcase what he can do. We saw it last year, but he's really stepped up. He's one of the reasons why the Cubs are a half a game back, because he can play. And he's done that, and he's led. He's been a good player, and he's been a lot of fun to watch. So, that's my thoughts on the game. Now, let me take up for Craig Counsell for a second and say, as frustrating as it is for me to watch Patrick Wisdom play in the field, which you guys know, I just feel like every time he's out there, something like what happened tonight happens. And this goes back to the minute that he got there. It's why the other organizations haven't kept him there, why he hasn't been able to really stick anywhere. But it's not his fault that the Cubs lost the game. They also need to hit some. The batting's got to be elevated as well. And they've got to, as like Craig Counsell said in the postgame last night, they've got to get more rallies going. And it's tough to do that when you're missing some of your best players. But even with the loss, they're still playing, I thought, excellent baseball. And what I mean by that is they're in most games. I mean, I know they got blown out 17-0, but still they're in all the games. I mean, they gave up a 3-run homer late yesterday, but at the same time, these guys are playing competitive baseball, something that we touched on yesterday. And I think that's a really good sign for this team right now, what Craig Counsell's done as the team's manager, and what this season could look like when it's all said and done. And Cubs need one more win to split this series. 2 more wins, and they can win the road trip, right? So tonight, they play their final night game of this matchup with the Mets in New York, and they've got their guy on the mound, Shota Imanaga. He's been so fun to watch. 4-0 record, .98 ERA. This is becoming one of those must-see attractions. And I'm sure even some Mets fans are going to be like, hey, I want to go see Imanaga pitch. And that's exactly what is going to happen when the Cubs take on the Mets tonight. And I'm excited about it. And then tomorrow you got Ben Brown pitching the day game before the Cubs get back. And I want to remind all of you guys that we'll be on Friday with our watch party. So make sure that you come with some comments ready, with your cold beer or whatever you're going to, your beverage of choice. And let's hang out and watch some Cubs afternoon baseball. Some of you guys are going to be at work. Just bring the headphones. But anyway, that's what we're talking about right now. It's not the end of the world, to lose a game, but these are frustrating because it's mistakes that this team really hasn't made a lot of, the errors. And going back to my whole point about having Patrick Wisdom in there is that Craig Counsell's got to get these guys in the field at some point. So even as frustrating as it is to have Patrick Wisdom, in the field, this is exactly what we've seen from him since he's ever played in the field for the Cubs. You still got to get him in there because he needs some work. And as I look at the roster and I think about what's going to happen when you start to get some of these guys back, those spots on this team are going to start going like this. And if it's me, I'm thinking about the catch that Alexander Canario made in the game last night. I'm thinking about Pete Crow Armstrong and what he brings to the table. And all of a sudden, you start looking around and you're like, hey, if I can't trust a guy in the field, he better be hitting me 40 home runs or there's not going to be a spot for him. And that's the bottom line. It's what you want. You want competitiveness on your roster. So anyway, you guys tell me, though, Cubs still playing some good ball. Got to get back on track tonight. We'll be keeping an eye on that. And also Justin Steele. Going to be seeing what he's doing down in Iowa. And hopefully everything goes fine. And then he'll be back with the Cubs and ready to start the next time they need him, which is honestly is awesome. All right. Like and subscribe. Get in the comments section. Make sure you share with your Cubs friends. And we will talk to you again soon. Go Cubs.